Story 1. My ex-husband and I had 3 children, female 25, female 23, and a male 22. We separated 4 years ago after he said he was tired of seeing my old face every day and wanted to find someone younger. His words to my face when asking for divorce. The divorce was a mess. He tried in every way to take everything I had, and I even had to take on half of his debts. Long story short, I never talked to him face to face again, and we only talk through lawyers when it's something about our children. Months ago, from my children, I found out that he was diagnosed with cancer, and it's in an advanced stage. I didn't say anything more about it because no topic related to him appealed to me. Still, I decided to support my children and stay by their side. Yesterday, my 3 children all lived with me, sat down with me, telling me that their father could no longer work, chemo and cancer, and wouldn't be able to stay in his current home, so he had nowhere to live, and they would like for him to live here in these last stages. I immediately said no and felt offended that I'd even been asked that question, knowing how much he and I dislike each other. They started to argue that our house was his last option, because his relatives couldn't and didn't want to leave his father without a home, and that I should think about them. I asked who would care for him when things got worse because all 3 of them work outside the home and I work from home, or who would cover all his financial and medical expenses. They didn't know how to answer, and they would decide between the 3 of them to help their father and not be so burdensome for me. The 3 of them were willing to let their father live in our house. I said that despite valuing their opinion on any other matter in the house, this is my decision alone, and it remains no. They called me heartless and believed that they were just trying to give their father a place to live, not my ex-husband, and I was being petty about all the things he did and not thinking about them. They're still pressuring me to change my mind, especially with their father only having 15 more days in his house. But I can't feel anything other than offended that they asked that, knowing how much the divorce messes with me, depression and anxiety. My ex got in touch on my personal number, asking me to rethink and leave the past behind just in these last moments. Funny that he asked me, not his exes, much younger than me. Am I the idiot? If you want to know, the oldest is waiting for her own house to be ready, and the 2 youngest are still unable to live independently. Tell him he can ask his much younger and cuter exes. After all, you wouldn't want to bother him with your old face every day. Not the idiot. And do your kids know how he treated you? I understand not getting involved with my parents' grievances, but as a child in that situation, I would never consider even asking my mother to care for my father if I knew how he treated her. This would be my hill to die on. They don't know that he talked about looking for new faces, but right after the divorce he dated a woman 20 years younger. So there's no way not to connect the dots. They know how bad I was, depression, anxiety, low self-esteem. After the divorce I spent 30 days in bed doing almost nothing. They had to force me to eat, so they knew something. Knowing something by connecting dots isn't the same as knowing the truth. You need to tell them exactly what he said to you and ask them if they would allow that behavior if it was them. They're old enough for you to sit and explain exactly what he told you and what you went through. Also old enough to put their own money to maintain their father. And if they continue, you can kindly invite your children to move in with their father. Lady, they're all adults now. Sit them down and tell them why this man cannot be in your home or a part of your life. The audacity of your kids to take issue with you upon this dude reaping his karma. Bottom line, it's not their house. Too damn bad they haven't been motivated enough to get their own homes to facilitate their father's care. Or in the case of your eldest, she can take him in when her house is finished. Ta-da! Problem solved without dragging mom into another one of their father's issues. Last month my teen son Austin got a really nasty sprained ankle during a soccer game. I took him to urgent care, and even an orthopedic doctor. Everyone said to lay off the ankle for at least 6 weeks. Austin was compliant and did nothing but complain about how much it hurt. Miraculously, he suddenly felt better when he got a chance to perform at a school rally. It's basically a competition between the grades. The juniors were doing a Grease performance. I asked my son, "How the heck are you going to dance when your ankle is messed up?" He said it felt fine and he's stretching. I spoke to his mom and she said let it be. I said okay, but you're paying any medical bills whether you make your deductible or not. They did the Clans dance-off last Friday and I did go. It was apparent Austin was in pain. In the end, I asked if he was okay, and he said yes. At the end of the school day, he texted me and asked if I could pick him up because he couldn't walk on his ankle. His ankle was like a loaf of bread. I took him to the ortho doctor that same day, and the ortho said not only did he have a grade 3 sprain, he was grade 2 before, but his ligament was torn. He said we could try resting it and rehab, but his ankle will likely be unstable and subject to chronic injury, especially if my son isn't taking it seriously. I said he might as well do the surgery. His downtime is roughly the same as letting it heal on its own. I spoke to his mom, and she said she needed to give them her insurance information. Yes, our boys have double coverage. Our employers pay 100%, so obviously we didn't turn that down. Long story short, her insurance covers 65% and mine covers 35% with a copay of $3,000. The bill wasn't issued until after the surgery, which was on Tuesday. I told my ex I'm not paying crap on a copay. That's on her. After I said no, she told him it was okay to do the dance thing. She said that wasn't fair. I said too bad. This was all totally preventable. She said I'm obligated to pay half, and I said take me to court then. It will cost you more to do that, and I'll countersue you for things you were supposed to pay half. But I paid 100% because it was easier. Edit. To put into perspective how irresponsible my son was, he had his friend on his shoulders while another friend was swinging off the legs of the friend on his shoulders. Then he was lifting girls too. He wasn't even wearing an ankle wrap. Toward the end, he was literally dancing on one foot. Not the idiot, and I agree with you. She made this decision, she should pay for it. However, what do your custody papers say? You could be liable, and not paying according to the directives in your custody papers could put you in a terrible legal position. In principle, though, I agree with you. Everyone's the idiot here. Nobody here is paying attention to what is the most important thing: your son's health. A drama about money up, letting the son do irresponsible things, his ex, and not giving a damn about the doctor's orders, Op's son, are 3 crappy ways to deal with the situation. At least Op's son has the excuse of being young. So dad should just shut up, get ignored and cover the bill, right? Man, I have sprained my ankle a lot, and your son outdid anything I managed to do. I've pushed through some of them and others have sat me down. But goddamn, that was really a dumb thing to do. Like, I just think of how badly I've hurt myself, and I've never been told to rest a full 6 weeks for a sprain, and then he hurts it worse. Op could have called the school and informed them that because of the injury, his son was not allowed to participate in the dance, instead of just shrugging and letting it happen. You are the idiot. Neither of you stood up to the teen and told him not to do it, or that there would be consequences, so pay up. Split it 50-50 since it's both y'all's fault. My daughter is an outstanding student. She's been on the honor roll throughout middle school. She's in 8th grade and in the advanced track. She's in some regular classes like Spanish, vocab, etc. They don't have advanced tracks for those subjects, and the whole class, 50-ish, gets all the same homework. All the lockers were in the hall, but there were no locks on them. The school didn't allow locks due to many middle schoolers forgetting their code and locking themselves out. Really, it was the honors system. It wasn't uncommon for my daughter to help students out with homework at FAST. Over time, she got sick of doing it and stopped. Since Christmas break, she's been struggling. Before I thought she was messing up, but no. She would do homework, which would be missing when it was time to turn it in. We bought new organizers, and she would be missing stuff. I knew the work was done, but it was missing. Then, 2 weeks ago, she was accused of cheating since someone had almost the same essay as her. We also noticed only her physical stuff in the normal classes would be missing, not her stuff on the computer. Some teachers are old school. She was extremely frustrated and was on track to get C's in some of her classes. She told the teacher, and no one believed her. So she recorded her locker only to discover that another student was taking her work. Let's call that girl Beth. My daughter was not quiet and turned in the proof to her teachers. Basically, the whole grade knew she was stealing homework. I got a call into the office, and they are fixing my daughter's grade, and Beth's mom was trying to get her in trouble for bullying. I told her after a while that my daughter wasn't a bully and clearly her daughter was a thief. She called me an idiot, and I refused to allow my daughter to get in trouble. Edit, according to the teachers, both girls have messy handwriting, so they didn't notice. Not the idiot op, you called the thief a thief. The fact that her mom was trying to flip it on your child makes it clear that this kind of behavior is, at best, tolerated and at worst, supported by her parents. Beth's a brat, and this is probably her first instance of actions meeting consequences. May it be a memorable experience for her. You defended your daughter from a parent who basically was encouraging their own daughter to be a thief. Beth's mom was throwing out the bully accusation because she had no other card to play. Her daughter was caught red-handed throwing stuff at the wall and hoping something would stick. Beth's mom should be ashamed. You, on the other hand, should be proud of your daughter's persistence. She knew something was wrong, fought to figure it out, and got justice in the end. I have a son-in-law. Let's call him Jeff, who I do not get along with. I find him to be incompetent. Clearly, I'm not a fan, and I'm not going to pretend that. He's just a prankster, and for the most part, they're harmless if not annoying. I used to cook a ton for get-togethers, but I'm getting old. Instead, when we have dinner, we do potluck. We have a shared document where I list items that need to be brought. For example, salad, chicken dish, dessert, and so on. People will put their names next to the items they're bringing. My daughter travels often, so there have been multiple times when he will come alone. This is where issues arise. He will sign up for an item and bring a joke version. He signed up to bring a fish entree and brought in candy sushi. Well, multiple hate chicken, so they didn't have an entree to eat. Claims he would bring in lasagna and it was a cake. I've talked to him and multiple members of the family have. My daughter said she would handle it, but she can't stop him when she's gone. It's a problem since his lying makes us run out of entree food, and now I have to cook more. It also annoys other members since they usually go home hungry. Really, first time it was funny, and now it's just damn annoying. This time, I asked him to just bring a salad and just sign up for the salad. He can buy a kit at Walmart, but please bring a salad. He came to the event with a bowl of candy and called it a candy salad. I kicked him out and started making a salad for dinner. He's angry, and he and my daughter called me an idiot for kicking him out. Edit, I can't stop inviting him. If I did that, I would get crap for excluding him from the family. Trust me, I want to not invite him, but that would blow up in my face. Not the idiot, but it's your house. Grow a pair. Stop inviting him to a few events. They'll get the message since words don't seem to work. If your family doesn't like his absence, they can invite him and deal with his pranks. I have a better idea. Invite him for the wrong date and time, and then say, just kidding. Bonus points if you can make it look like you're throwing him a birthday party. Do it over and over. Call him by the wrong name, over and over. When he attends a family potluck, have a plate of rubber food and serve that to him. Over and over. Your son-in-law sounds like an exhausting child. You can never give him any amount of responsibility. Next time, tell him to get candy necklaces. The joke alternative to that is real necklaces. See how he deals with that? Quite often, prankster is a synonym for idiot. It clearly is in this case. Tell your daughter you're done with the immaturity, and they're welcome to return when Jeff is willing to behave like an adult. Unless he's 10 years old, none of this behavior is funny or charming. And even then, it'd get annoying after the second time. The only way he's gonna learn is if there are consequences. My mom died when I, nearly adult female, was 12 and my dad remarried 4 months ago. His new wife is Lorraine, and she's okay. I don't exactly like her, but I tolerate her for my dad's sake. I know he loves her, and I know she's nice to him, so that's all that really matters. She'll never be a motherly figure for me or someone I will be particularly close to. But that's okay, we don't have to be. Except she wants us to be. I think that part of what bothers me about her is she can't accept that we're not very close. She told me she wanted to be the woman I turn to when I need womanly advice. And when I told her that was nice and all, but I didn't want that. She invited herself over to my grandparents, my maternal grandparents' house, when I was there for time with my grandma, and she insisted that she was now part of that family as well. She wanted to make time for the 3 generations of women in the family. My grandparents told her she needed to leave, and she got so upset. My dad told her she went a little too far with that, and she backed off. But she did try to get me to choose her over other women in the family. Anytime I've spent some time with a woman in my family, she's tried to talk me into spending it with her instead. She has no kids of her own, so maybe that's why she's so pushy about it. But I don't like it. Anyway, that's just some info. I know it's not that big of a deal, and I don't hate her. But I don't need us to be close like she wants, and I don't see her as someone I want to be closer to. So the thing is, she loves to cook, and my dad loves her cooking. He compliments her on it all the time. He has told her his belly was never happier and stuff like that. I'll thank her for cooking, but never rave about it in the same way. Last week she made this big dinner for just the 2 of us since Dad was working late. And I had to eat with her because a household rule since I was born was we eat at the table. She was asking what I thought, and I told her it was nice and thanks for cooking. She told me nice wasn't good enough. Then she kept asking me to describe what I thought, and after a few minutes of me not being that detailed, she mentioned how my mom wasn't that great of a cook. I told her she was looking at the wrong person if she wanted to hear that her cooking was better than my mom's. Lorraine slammed her hands down on the table and told me I was rude, and that disrespecting her like that was not a way to show appreciation for someone's food. I told her she brought up Mom and her cooking after fishing for compliments. She told me she's tired of feeling like I merely tolerate her, and that being able to admit she can do something better than my mom when she knows it's true is a sign that we're turning a corner. But I decided to be rude instead. Ever since that dinner, she's huffed and puffed when I'm around, and it's been pretty clear she wants an apology. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Sit your father down and tell him to get his wife in line. She is not your mother. She's not even a mother figure. She's just his wife. And her trying to replace your mother by barging into aspects of your life that have nothing to do with her needs to stop, or it is going to seriously damage your relationship with him. This is his problem to fix. Lorraine needs therapy. You are correct that she is pushing way too hard here. They have been married for 4 months, and she basically wants to throw the memory of your mother under the bus. She may feel like she has to establish this bond quickly before you go off to college. That won't happen, and she is wrong to try to force it. You should tell her that if she stops trying to be your mom, maybe you can be friends someday. But marriage does not create instant family roles. You build relationships over time with respect and caring. Thanks for listening.